we'll get started because people will be able to watch the recording. So Shmuel has a few things in mind to speak about. Shmuel, we hear that there are traffic blocks in Gehir interchange just outside Tel Aviv, and you'll be speaking about who were there causing that block. And we noticed that the new lapel pins are up for a discussion. But it also seems like that you guys are going to need umbrellas and wet boots while you're eating sufganya in the coming days.
Close enough. Close enough.
Sufganyot.
Because
Sufganyot.
very good. Because you've got Storm Byron all over Israel today.
What with the name Byron? Byron, how did they get the name? Such a not an Israeli name. You know, it's
Christian name.
mechanism, it's ABC, Byron. Like Byron Bay? Like where are we talking about? It's a gesture for Australia? Byron.
Byron. So, Shmuel, I'd like to open with what I think is an appropriate scripture.
Yeah.
And it's from Leviticus 24. The Lord said, Leviticus 24:1, the Lord said to Moses, command the Israelites to bring clear oil of pressed olives for the light, so that the lamps may be kept burning continually. Outside the curtain that shields the Ark of the Covenant law in the tent of meeting, Aaron is to tend the lamps before the Lord from evening till morning continually. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. The lamps on the pure gold lampstand before the Lord must be tended continually. And this shining the light is something that both the Jewish people and the Christian people can do at this season, at this time. So, Lord, we just open in prayer that you will shine your light, keep it burning in our hearts, and that we will shine your glory always as we come into the Christmas season or we come to light the menorah candles. It's about shining your light. And so, welcome everybody. Welcome, Jenny, and over to Shmuel.
Thank you very much, Pam. First of all, really, once again, I want to apologize. I had a feeling if something is not going to work. Somebody from the US office worked with the links, and I told Sarah in the office it's not going to work. And Sarah actually prepared for today a presentation, not a presentation, and I know how to call it. She's going to demonstrate, right? A demonstration of how to make those Sufganyot, jelly donuts in a very American bad translation. And she's preparing right now, and when she's gonna be ready, she's gonna tell us. She's gonna jump right in. We scheduled for now, but maybe she was late with all this mess. So she will demonstrate from her kitchen how do you make those. And between us, I will say that it's easier to go and buy them in the supermarket 2 shekels a piece and not to go through the effort of actually making all of the preparation and baking. It's not baking, it's like in a deep oil. Like it's a mess. It's a mess. But she's gonna demonstrate that. But before that, I think we're gonna start by talking about the obvious, which is the days that are coming, as you said, Hanukkah, and I don't know if Pam wanted to give me this connection. It's a Rabbi Foreman's connection between the holiday of Hanukkah and the ritual of holding the fire up in the tabernacle. It's like an obvious connection, right? And there's another connection from maybe Rabbi Foreman talks about the fire in the burning bush, right? It's a fire that exists and doesn't stop, right? And I was actually thinking of talking about Hanukkah, about the obvious, but I want to we're among friends. So I want to take it to another notch of something that is very inner circles, in the inner circles of Judaism, not even Judaism per se, but the Hasidic movement. So I think you will enjoy it. I think it's something new. So today is the 19th day of Kislev, of the month of Kislev. And the days of Hanukkah, it's very easy to remember. It's like the easiest holiday to remember because the word Hanukkah, Tet Nun Vav Chaf A is 25. So it's the 25th day of Hanukkah, of Kislev. What happened on the 19th day of Kislev and why this day is important? You won't believe it. I'm going to share with you a story that you really never heard before, but it's a day that all over the world people are celebrating and mentioning tonight. And it's called, you will be surprised, Redemption Day. And it's not the story of redemption of the nation. It's a redemption of one person. And this person, his name is Shneur Zalman from Ladi. Or in other ways, it's the Alter Rebbe, the old Rebbe. And this rabbi, he was the student of the first person who developed the Hasidic movement. Now, this is something that sounds familiar, right? Everybody knows what are Hasidic Jews. The first lineage, the next generation, was this Rabbi Shneur Zalman, and he developed the most famous Hasidic movement. All of you heard of it. Wherever you live in the world, if you are looking for a Jewish, maybe if you wish to say, fire that sticks everywhere in the world, where do you go?
Chabad.
Chabad. Rabbi Shneur Zalman, the Alter Rebbe, he is the rabbi who developed and started at the second generation of Hasidim 250 years ago, the movement of Chabad, or in other names, Lubavitch. Funny enough, he wasn't from Lubavitch, so Lubavitch is in a later stage of his life. But this movement became the household movement that we know and we appreciate literally in every corner of the world. And what happens? Why it's a redemption day? Because the story goes as follows. He was living in Liadi, which is somewhere in a territory that is Russia, right? And in those times, there was a debate, there was a fight, there was a war between France and Russia. And the Russians thought that the Alter Rebbe, this Rebbe, is actually going with the French people, like revolution in their midst. So they arrest him and they put him into jail, and he's going to be investigated for a couple of weeks until he was released on the 19th day of Kislev. And he says, when he's being released, he says, it wasn't a fight against me. That was a fight against the secrets of Judaism that I will reveal to the world. Therefore, this day is the new year of Hasidic teachings. I'm giving you now like things that are really like deep. Go online. Every Chabad home, anywhere in the world, tonight, did a meeting, as we call it, a Fabregen, of gathering together and learning these very basic teachings of the rabbi. Of course, it's not basic because he wrote one of the biggest books in Judaism, specifically in Hasidic Judaism, the book of the Tanya. He was a major scholar and he changed the world. And we only can praise what his students did. Right now, wherever you are, not far from you, there's going to be a Chabad house in Brisbane, in Sydney, in Melbourne, in Perth, in Adelaide, maybe other places. I don't know. But it's crazy to think about it. And I just had a conversation with my daughters because I read to them the night story, and I mentioned the fact. I'm gonna put you in a secret now. My kids are 9 generations of this rabbi. Yeah, yeah. I'll explain how it goes. I don't remember it because it's from my website, but I have it written. Listen to this. So first of all, you should know that my wife has a brother. His name is Snow. On his name. It's a family that has the name all these generations. It goes as follows. So my wife, okay, my kids, my wife, her grandfather, his name was Snow. Pam, if you came to Tzufim, I probably took you to the observation point name on him. He was killed in a very young age, in the age of 35. He's Michal's grandfather. And it's the main road in Kdumim in his name as well. His mother, Esther Shlonim. Her father, Rabbi Yaakov Yosef Shlonim. And his father, Mordechai Shlonim. All of them famous rabbis from the Chabad of Hebron. Some of them survivor of the massacre of 1929. And I'm sure I spoke about it in Australia. Do you remember, Pam, I mentioned the family survivor from the massacre in Hebron? These were the people who opened the Chabad house in Hebron. I'm talking about the 20s, before Israel was established. His parents is the daughter of the Mittler Rebbe, the son of Reb Shneur Zalman. So you have Reb Shneur Zalman, his son, his daughter, and then generation after generation after generation, until you get to my kids. It skipped me because it's from my mother's side, from my wife's side. And I can tell you that whenever I want to joke with the family and they brag about how they're related to these big rabbis, I say to them that ancestry is like carrots. The best part is stuck under the ground. So don't praise it so much. It's under the ground. But anyway, to tell you that this day happened today. And I found that there's a strong connection between that and the days of Hanukkah. And this is exactly the point that I want to talk about. And Sarah is going to be here in 2 minutes. You look at this holiday, and before you get into the very, stories of what happened in the war and the victory, take only one point. We are taking the story of the oil and the fire that never burns down very serious. Really, that's the main holiday, just lighting fire? Yes. It's because it tells us a very important notion and a very basic understanding about Judaism altogether, especially the holidays, especially the Hasidic movements, or basically our ancestors. Regardless of the situation, no matter how bad it gets, there's always going to be this core power, the oil that never burns down. This is the burns of the Chanukiah of Hanukkah, and that's the fire of the menorah in the tabernacle, and that's the fire with the burning bush. These are fires that never distinguish, and these are fires that keeps us alive regardless of where we are and how far we go. And it's important to note that, because a lot of the times when you look at Jewish history, the feeling is that it's almost over. They're losing. Think about the bad times of Judaism, and the feeling is always that soon it's going to be ending, like Holocaust, pogroms. No, there's always going to be a vessel of oil, clean, kosher, pure, somewhere to hold for eternity, to continue the fire growing. And I will go back to this thought when I'm going to speak about the demonstrations, and maybe the pin, the stupid pin. We should already say it in advance. But right now, I see Shara is here and she's ready. So please, I recommend if you see us like in small boxes, click twice on Shara so you can see the big frame and learn from her. Take it away, Shara.
Muted.
Okay, hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, whatever time it is, everywhere where we are located. Ignore the background. Actually, don't ignore it. Embrace it. We've got winter season over here. Little kids sick, running through like crazy, holiday prep and all of this fun stuff. So, I love jumping on the Zooms. Ever since the war started, I started participating here and there, getting to know you guys. I know a lot of you guys from behind the scenes through our system and receipt writing and all of these types of things. But now there's faces to names, and one day I'll merit to come meet you guys in person. Right now, I was thinking about it. Hanukkah is so much fun. Now, I was raised in the States, and I have no idea about how anything is in Australia. But in the States, Christmas is so commercialized. The entire country is filled with green and red and lights everywhere and gingerbreads and Santas and all of these things. And then you have like one shelf of Hanukkah, like just to like be politically correct in all of the grocery stores and all of these things. And growing up, it was always so sad to never have like this representation because Hanukkah is so fun. It falls out similar timing to Christmas. And living in Israel, Christmas is a really different experience because we really get to focus less on the commercialism and more on the spirit of the holiday and the traditions behind it. And obviously, of course, the authenticity of doing it here in the land. So I said to Shmuel, I want to show our friends in Australia a very simple way to partake in the Hanukkah festivities of making what we call sufganyot. Sufganyot are classic jelly donuts. They can have lots of different fillings. And here I am complaining about commercialism in America. There's literally bakeries that have like trademarked donuts for this season here where you spend like a life savings on one donut to see like what's the flavor of the year. And it's so fancy. It doesn't even taste good because there's too many toppings and like all of these things. So this is like not the traditional sufganya. This is little donut rolls.
20 shekels a piece.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And thank God my kids are still little, so they're not exposed to such things. They don't know yet, but they will know. So this is not even actually a traditional sufganya recipe because when we create anything with dough, it takes time for the dough to rise. And as much as I love chatting and can never stop chatting, I'm not going to bore you for an hour and a half while dough rises. So this is a really fun recipe using yogurt that makes it ready right away to pop into the oil. So I'm going to do a little demonstration and take you step by step. Afterwards, when we send the follow-up email, we'll include the recipe, and anybody who wants to make it at home, I would really love if you could send me a picture to my email of your donuts and how they came out, because I think that's so special, sharing traditions around the world, and this is how we have unity. So we're going to start. There's only about 5 and 6 ingredients. It's very simple, and I'm going to step by step share what I am and maybe some of the symbolism behind each ingredient. I'm sure of all cultures, sometimes men, but a lot of times us women are in the kitchen all the time, nonstop, especially with the Sabbath. We cook what's a Thanksgiving meal every single Thursday, Friday to have for the Sabbath. We're constantly standing here. And if we don't have symbolism to what we're doing, there's going to be a lot of resentment because we're standing here a lot. So I'm going to share a few things. So I'm going to start with flour. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups of regular, no, 1.25, cups of regular flour. And flour is very interesting. It's a very basic, simple ingredient, but everything's built from it. All different types of pastries and doughs and pizzas and pastas and a lot of our main foods coming from this. And that is also how light, we talk a lot about light. I heard Shmuel discussing, I didn't get a chance to hear what he was saying before, so if I repeat anything, I apologize. Light is the symbolism of Hanukkah because we're talking about the oil and the burning and the light into the world and the light from the darkness of the temple and things like that. And that is also, light starts small. It's humble and then it becomes bigger. Next, we're going to go into the baking powder. Baking powder, we're going to have 1 teaspoon. I'm going to just plop it right in there. It's a 1 bowl recipe. I'm sure everybody here appreciates 1 bowl recipes. We're going to pop that in. That gives us the lift, just like how sometimes that light in our life gives us that small lift. Like I said, this is a non-rising recipe. So here's my Greek yogurt. You can use any kind of yogurt, but I think Greek yogurt's a bit thicker, so it helps bind it a little bit more. Yogurt is very nourishing. It gives us strength, especially these plain ones, not with all the added sugar and garbage that my kids like and things like that. Plain Greek yogurt adds moisture, gives us strength, And sometimes our soul, not sometimes, us as religious people, rather Christians or Jews, we need nourishment. It's very easy to go through the motions and to pray and to say the words we say every day, but to really add to ourselves this moisture, this nourishment, it allows our soul to act on our beliefs and to do more and to bring that light. I'm going to say light a lot of times. We have the next thing. We have egg. In Jewish law, we check to make sure there's no blood stain. So I already have it here in a glass cup that I checked. There's no blood. And we're going to plop that in. Eggs are representing binding. Okay, eggs bind everything together when you need to put that dough together. Jews around the world, when we share that light, it's our job to bind the nations together, to show how much we have to offer. I'm going to add one more thing. This was my favorite little explanation. Lemon zest. Lemon zest is going to give it a good kick of flavor. We're going to do half of lemon zest. And I like this because all of these ingredients are so boring. And then you have this bright yellow. And here we are again talking about light. And this is going to add so much flavor and that kick and that spark. On Hanukkah, we see that, especially nowadays, right? Like all of these Zoom meetings we're doing together, all we're talking about is war and sadness and desperation and need and all of these sad things. But Israel's also thriving, and we are not just surviving, we're thriving, and we have resilience. And this lemon shows me the resilience, because amongst all of the darkness and the fears of the sirens, and we're moving to a new house here in Carnation Road in about 6 months, and right down the road, actually across the street from Sandra, if anyone knows Sandra. And it has a bomb shelter inside the house. Who would have thought that I would ever say, oh, I'm so lucky to have a bomb shelter inside my house? Because where I'm at right now, I don't have one. So amongst this resilience, I'm very excited to, if Iran decides to attack one day again, they should wait until I'm in my new house. So that way I have a bomb shelter. So that's the light in this right now. And that's it. That was so easy. We did yogurt, lemon, a pinch of salt, measure with your heart. And that's it. We're going to bind it all together. Going to add a little bit of sugar. It doesn't have. And that's it. It's so simple. We're going to pop it into the oil. And while I'm mixing this, I don't want to just ramble for nothing. I'd really love to hear if anyone here has any holiday traditions of things that they bake or that they make with their grandchildren, with their families, something that's special to your family. My grandma used to make this very weird concoction of a drink that we called, what did we call it? Oh, don't tell her that I don't remember. It was weird. It was like soda and sorbet and weird things together, but I still remember it, and I still make it for my kids, even though they didn't ever really get a chance to meet her. Anyone here? Anne, do you have something? Pam, someone have any family traditions?
Spring rolls. We have spring rolls.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yes. So the kids love them. Chicken and veggie, organic chicken, all the veggies that take hours to make, but they sure are good, especially when you make 40 or 80.
Yes. Do they make it together with you? Do they come over? How is this tradition held?
No, they just come over and arrive, and we're hungry, Mum.
And it's ready.
They're
like
flying
a good
in
grandma.
everywhere from cans, yeah. So cans and all around the place for Christmas, yeah.
And
That's so
I
nice.
need to jump and say that it's funny that you're talking about spring rolls, because it's a very famous custom for
Yes.
Jewish people to eat Chinese food in Christmas.
Christmas. It's true.
And everybody
very true.
doesn't, no one understands what's the connection. Why do you eat Chinese food in Christmas? And it's not a joke, it's real. And
I
the
really
reason
think
is
it happened
simple.
in America. I think like in New York with the Jews there, they were out in like,
Simple. Why? Because that was the only place that was open on Christmas. All the people closed, and only Chinese restaurants, because they don't celebrate, were open. So the Jews
true.
went to eat Chinese food. And
and I don't know how it is for other places around the world, but in America, especially where I'm from in Florida, you will see millions of yarmulkes, kippas, like the hats that the men wear, in the movie theater. You go to the movies and then you go out for Chinese. That is the tradition. So here, I'm going to show you the consistency. It's a bit sticky. It's not our traditional dough. This is why we said we're not using the rising method. And it's going to be the most simplest thing ever. You can be fancy and you can put it in a piping bag and stuff, but no one has time for that and no one wants more dishes. So we're going to just put a scoop of this, like this, right into our oil. I already have the oil burning, not burning, heating up while we're chatting. I'm going to plop it in. It's going to sizzle and it's going to do its thing for about 3 minutes. And when we take it out, they're going to be very yummy donut holes, powdered sugar on top, some chocolate, whatever is to your liking. And I want to share something that is so unique to me. And as we finish with this, I'll let Shmuel continue. And then I will interrupt him when they're finished cooking and show you the result. It only takes about 5 minutes total.
we want to taste.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring it into the office. Something so unique and special that I cannot get over about living here in the land is that when I go to visit family and relatives or just go to a Hanukkah activity, I'm literally walking in the place of the Maccabees, the story of the Hanukkah story, where it took place. It's in the Judean hills. And actually, the Maccabees, they took over Har Hebron, where is literally where we work, where we go to our communities all the time. Har Hebron is part of the Hanukkah story. And this is crazy. This is not something I could ever do in America. And not only do I get to experience it, I get to show my kids this and prove to them when all of the whole world is telling me, sorry, I'm just grabbing a paper towel here. They're telling me, you don't belong there. This is not your land. You're not indigenous to your land. What are you talking about? And I say, put away the Bibles, because not everybody really agrees on religion. That's just the way of the world. Take out the textbooks. Take out the textbooks, the timeline of what happened from then until now, and the fact that our name pops up so much, that we're here. It amazes me every time, right? Like sometimes, right, if an American were to come to Australia, what's the first thing they would get excited about and ask to see? Come on.
Kangaroo.
A kangaroo, a koala. They want to see the Great Barrier Reef, all of these things, right? These are things that you're like, oh my God, another kangaroo. Like I've seen that all the time. People like camel. I see a camel all the time. I'm joking. I don't actually see camels all the time in my region of the country, but these things don't get old. It doesn't get old to be driving down the road and showing my kids, hey, that's where Judah Maccabee fought the battle to make sure our temple continued staying. And that is so special. And that's really something that I will always, when we moved to Samaria, when we moved to Karnei Shomron, my husband grew up in the center, not in Samaria. He's Israeli and I'm American. And I didn't move here for ideological reasons. I moved here because I'm just flipping the donuts now because I'll show you one second. See? Okay. As you see, they brown. You just flip them over a little bit, stick them over, and that's it. When we moved here, I moved here because it was nice. It was pretty. We had family in this neighborhood, in this community of Karnei Shomron. And that was it. Within a year, I was sold on the importance of us living in Samaria and how important, or in Judea, which is more so where the Hanukkah story took place. Because preserving this land, of all of the land that God gave us, but especially where all of these biblical timestamps happen, it's not just special, it's a merit. And it's our responsibility. It's really our responsibility to protect it, to preserve it, and to prosper it. And I'm really grateful. I thank God every day that I get to take place in that opportunity. It reminds me of my son's name. And then I'm going to, Shmuel, so be prepared. I'm going to let you take over. My son's name, he was born during the war, like right in the beginning of the war, in the January after October 7th. And his name is Eli Or. My God is light. That's what it means. Eli, my God, or light. Now, it had nothing to do with Hanukkah, because Hanukkah had already been about a month and a half, 2 months away. But I kept on saying, how lucky am I to have a baby in the time of war, when they're trying to destroy us and to limit the amount of us that exist in this world. And I get to bring another one in. Not only was it special, he was also born on the day that 22 soldiers were killed in an explosion in Gaza that exact morning. I remember being in the labor room, and my doula, the birth assistant, looked at my husband and said, not now. Keep your mouth shut. I'm like, oh God, what now? Like, I was so like, what's going to be? And she was saying, and because he knew that he wasn't able to like contain his emotion from hearing about this. And she didn't want my birth to be about soldiers dying. She just wanted the baby to come out healthily. And then we can talk about it. And I remember saying, wait a minute, this is crazy. 22 souls, for whatever God's reasons are, ascend to heaven. And it's my job that I get to bring another one in. I'm so lucky. And that's when I realized that God is only light. It's not the only time I realized. It was another time highlighted. God is light. So I named him Eli Or. And now that it's time for Hanukkah, it's really special to really remind myself that he, being a war baby, is truly a light in our family. I like the other ones also, but their names are not as special as a war name. So anyways, here we go. I actually ended up talking so much that they're done. These are so simple. They're so fun. Okay, we're going to top it off with the classic topping that every donut in Israel is topped with, is powdered sugar. These are too hot to bite into. I'm going to bring them to the office, and then I will have a judged competition. They'll tell me how good they are or that they're not.
Good. Good on you, Sarah.
Thank you guys for sticking around. I love coming on here. God willing, next month I'll be on again, but not to share things, just to, hear you guys and what's going on. I learn a lot from these meetings also, because I don't always know what's going on. because I live here. It's a little bit different. All right. Happy holidays to everyone. May we all, in our own ways, our own religions, our own faiths and rituals, bring light to the world. I truly believe, even with all the darkness that we have been through these past 2.5 years, I still believe there's more light than darkness in this world. And light, think about a dark room and one small crack, one little hole in the wall of light is going to outshine everything. Next time you come to Israel, of course, Judea and Samaria, if you go to Machtesh Ramon, it's a crater in the south of Israel. It's a big crater. And if you go out camping in the middle of the night, it's pitch black, pitch black. There's nothing. It is the most amazing place to go stargazing. And you'll see that just from stars, from however many miles away it is, show so much light and guide your way. So even more so, all of us have a small flame. Our souls are small flames. And every drop of good we do brings in an enormous amount of light that only God can comprehend. Happy holidays. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll send you the recipe. And I really would really love if you guys can send me a picture of you guys making this with your families. Bye.
Excellent. Sarah, wait, before you leave.
I'm here. I'm not leaving. I was just going to put myself on mute.
I just wanted to say, while you were speaking and cooking, the only thing I was thinking about is they say that women have the ability to do two things at once. I would never be able to do such a thing.
Well, this time I don't have a kid hanging on my leg at the same time also, so there's even less.
Very, very impressive. When I do Zooms and I look at the phone, everybody feels that I'm distracted and I'm like not here. So it's amazing. Wow. And very, very nice. And I need to tell you that my nephew, I think it's a nephew, yeah, Ben Dod, whatever, he has a bar mitzvah this Shabbat, and he walked where the Maccabees fought all the fights. So around Latrun, he went to Ma'ale Levona, not far from us in Samaria. He went down to Hebron. Crazy stories. It's all written on the same places. It's amazing.
That is awesome. It's very special. We take a day. I stopped. I'll share one more little ritual that we do that takes away the commercialism from the holiday. Every night we have a different theme in our family. One night is a charity project. This year we're making blankets and a few care packages for reserve families in the neighborhood who have been fighting for over however many days we're at now, who really since October 7th until now have been gone. And one of the nights that we're doing, my kids are little. I have 8, 5, and a 2-year-old. We're doing a Maccabee fight. So they're going to be very excited that I'm letting them make a fort from the couch pillows. And I got them fake swords and shields, and they're going to reenact the battle. Because in the end of the day, like I tell them, there's no commandment to give presents, even though they get plenty of those also. There's no commandment for presents. There's commandments to remember the holiday, to commemorate the holiday, to light the menorah, which of course we will do. And it's I'm really looking forward. Hanukkah's a really special holiday.
Here's Sarah. She presents to us something very interesting and unique. I must share. She talks in a perspective of a Jewish girl in America, where everything around you is so Christmas. And then there's a song, Adam Sandler. He wrote a song called the Hanukkah
Time
song.
for Hanukkah.
And he says this sentence. He says, when you're the only Jewish kid in town without a Christmas tree, something like that, we have 8 crazy nights. I mean, the replacement of the, partying and getting gifts for 8 nights and not only one night. Thank God you live in Israel and your kids don't even know that there's something around the world that exists with lights and trees, and it's completely out of their knowledge. They don't know about it. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
And they will get to know about it when they're going to watch a TV show at some point in their life. It's like, what is it? It's an holiday. Like, I didn't know about it. It's interesting.
Right. It's a different culture. Definitely.
So thank you, Sarah. I want to go back to the subject because we're running out of time, and there's 2 elements that we need to, talk about. And I think they're completely related to what the whole topic of this conversation was. And it's a very simple thing. And if you're going to hang out until the end, I'm going to also play a song exactly about it. One of the most unique songs about Hanukkah, written by a folk American band, Peter, Paul, and Marie. They usually don't have Hanukkah song, but Peter was a Jew, and he decided to write this beautiful song that represents Hanukkah for me as well. I'm going to play it again. It's all connected. If we're going back to the main subject of the light, and the light that never ends, and the light that keeps on burning, this exact subject is what we are talking about when we're talking about the big debate in the Israeli society between the ultra-Orthodox going to the army or not. That's the point. It's simple as that. In there, and we talked about it in length, and I don't want to go back to the subject because of, one, it's repeating myself, and second, it's because whenever I talk about it, I get the shivers. It's like, it's hard for me to talk about it. But basically, the point is very simple. The ultra-Orthodox movement looks at themselves as the oil keepers. What is Judaism? It is maintaining the traditions. If we won't hold the castle, if we won't hold the oil, then it might vanish. Then it might finish. In their mind, in their philosophy, they were educated from a very young age. You are holding the ring. The Lord of the Rings, you are the ring keeper. And the Torah is the ring. The Torah is the oil, is the treasure, is the light. And we look at them, and sometimes we don't understand how come they don't participate in the main event of the war. But they tell you, what are you talking about? That's not the main event. The main event is how you keep your tradition. And you know, in Hanukkah, this debate becomes the biggest debate, because think about it for a second. In Hanukkah, it's being represented in the strongest point that the Greeks never wanted to kill us. If we would convert to their beliefs, we would be allowed to live here in peace. The only thing the fight is about our culture. So now the Haredim says, you understand what happened? They wanted not to kill you. Killing is nothing. You're only a body. It's nothing. They wanted for you to forsake your traditions and to love of God and your traditions. That was the decree. Stop keeping Shabbat. Stop learning Torah. Stop circumcising your kids. In the perspective of generations, what would be worse? Judaism living the Torah side, or 6 million people killed? In their mind, it's not a doubt. What does it even mean to be a Jew, to survive as a Jew, if you don't keep the tradition? And in a way, they look at the reality of Israel today and they say, you've been there. What keeps Israel Israel? What keeps Israel the strong, lion that we're all talking about? It's our tradition. It's our customs. It's our religion. Now you understand why I am so upset of this statement. Because I said it hundreds of times, millions of times, and Sarah just represented in a very nice way. You want to see a group of people that are able to keep both the tradition, the Torah, and the religious life, but also to fight for the nation. You can see it today with the people that I am happy to declare that I'm part of. Sarah is part of the pioneers of Judea and Samaria. You want to call them the Maccabees, you want to call them the Chashmonaim. It's all there. These are people that went to fight for our tradition, but they hold a sword and a knife while doing it. How would you be victorious if you're going to sit and learn Torah all day? Judah Maccabee didn't want to learn Torah. Matityahu didn't want to learn Torah. Jonathan, Simon, all the 5 brothers. That's exactly the point. You're giving us the story of Hanukkah to show us how we're not part of the tradition. That's the complete opposite. You didn't understand the story. The story is about how when you stop to fulfill your traditions, It's a devastating situation. You need to fight for it. But when you need to fight for it, you close the books and you go to fight. We didn't hear a story about people sitting, dwelling, praying, learning Torah, and God performed a miracle. It was almost the opposite. When they went to fight, when they went to all those wars, when they thought they're going to win some, they're going to lose some, only then they entered the temple. And in the temple, after all the fighting and all, the temple was filled with blood. Nothing was pure. Only then, God, in a way, almost like the burning bush, says, come for a second. I want to show you something. Look, you see down there? There's a vessel. That's a small miracle. There's a vessel that's going to be good for these 8 days of oil. It tells you one thing. I didn't want to perform a miracle that you're going to be winning the war. I wanted to tell you, even in the darkest time, even when you're going to need to fight, even when your young brother, Jonathan, is going to die out of an elephant falling on him. That's what the book of the Maccabees says. He was fighting against an elephant. He went underneath. He stabbed the elephant. The elephant fell on him and killed him. There's going to be devastating news. It's going to be crazy times. When you're going to be victorious in the end, you will see how God was there at all time looking at you. Here, you want to see a miracle? This small vessel of oil is going to be good for 8 nights. And if you notice, I'm pointing to an olive tree. Because it's going to take time and you're going to need to work hard again and you're going to bring kosher oil. But it's not the story of Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah is the war. Today, in Israel, you will see it in a very fun way. Sarah's kids are going to talk about wars and they're going to fight as Maccabees. If they have cousins in the ultra-Orthodox community, they're never going to mention any war. It's only going to be about miracle. It's going to be about dreidels. It's going to be about money, guilt. That's it. They took the story and they flipped it. Now you understand. If next to me there was an ultra-Orthodox person, he would say complete opposite. And he would explain you the story how I didn't understand. It was only about the Torah. But I'm talking from my heart of what I care about. And the demonstrations they're having now all around Israel goes back and boils back to the same point. Do you understand that we need you, my brother? If you understand that, you will move away, you will think, you will find a way to close the book and come and fight. If you weren't needed, trust me, we wouldn't come. It happened all these years, 75 years, we never approached you. We never, but you understand now. People are dying. People are injured. In a couple of hours, there's going to be the American Zoom, geared toward the American crowd. In a couple of hours, it's going to be very early in your morning, I think. And we're going to interview a lady, a neighbor from Tzufim, who at the first day of the war, sent her husband to reserve, received him back with 3 bullets in his neck, in his jaw, and 1.5 years of recovering for him to be well again. And she took this pain and she made from it an organization that talks and deals with exactly that. The reservist wives, none of the people who died, people who were injured. Thousands. Do you understand what we're talking about, my friend? You go and you demonstrate when you're 18. Do you understand you're sending people that are 35 with 7 children to war? Do you get it? That's the painful point. And to finish the point of those pins. So, Pam, help me with the word. What's the thing that was there in the pins?
Say that again.
What was the pins, like the rope? How do you say it?
Oh, the
pin.
little. Pardon?
Yeah, that lapel pin that we were talking about earlier.
What's the
Yes.
word? What's the word? I didn't get the word.
The lapel. The little
Lapel?
pin. Yeah, to put on your lapel.
Ah, lapel is the pin. But what did we see in the pin? It
A
was a
rope.
rope. A
Oh,
rope?
yes, the little rope
Like
noose. Like a noose.
you see, that's
Like a
the word that you don't Israeli don't know. Noose. Yes.
noose. Yeah.
No, so it's representing the rope, right? If somebody's going to be hanged, right? There's like a rope. Now they did it in a way that it looks like almost like the hostages, like a round shape and something on top, so it looks the same. And today, this morning, and Pam texted me this, three of the most. Would you mind if I'm gonna take another 5 minutes to finish this, Tam? Yeah. So that.
That's okay. It's
We've got a
okay.
live taste test here. 1 second. We got a
Here's
live taste from a soldier from Gaza. Here we go.
Hello.
nice and fresh and yummy. Hi.
Hello from
This is
Australia.
what I was talking about. Want a bite? You like my stuff? No, he's not a fan. Whatever. I won't take it personally. Bye, everyone.
He's beautiful.
He is. He's homesick. There's the flu going throughout the whole country right now. But he'll be all right. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Sarah. He's gorgeous. Bye-bye. Ta-da, darling. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So three of the most right-wing members of the government wore them today. And Pam sent me the photo. You were the first person who sent it, and then I got it from everywhere. And it looked very weird. I mean, you're going with this rope of what does it represent? And Pam asked me what's the story. So I explained to her, and I'm going to try to explain to you, and then I'm going to give you my opinion on it. So it's technical. It's very stupid. And this party is trying to go and make a law that says that heavy terrorists who killed people, could be, the verdict would be killing them, like America. In America, there's like a death row, right? If you did something so bad to justify, we're going to take your life. A quiz. Who knows in Israel where there was a death row for a person was killed?
In Israel,
Yeah,
Eichmann.
exactly. There's one law in Israel that says if you are a Nazi or you help the Nazis, we are allowed to kill you. There's actually another law that says if you betrayed the state of Israel, we also are allowed to kill you. It's based, by the way, on the British law, Commonwealth law. So this right-wing party is trying to bring back the idea to think about it. And I spoke about it many times. It's crazy. I recommend. I have a good friend. Her name is Lital Shemesh. She's a journalist. She wrote a book about, and the title of the book is "How Much a Dead Jew is Worth." And she basically talks about the fact, and you know it, that the Palestinian Authority rewards and funds terrorists after killing Jewish people. And more than that, we know that, number one, that they're going to our jails and they're doing BA and MA, a PhD on the taxpayer. They live great life. Their families are heroes. They get sponsors to the rest of their life. And these right-wing parliament members have an interesting, maybe basic thought that says, why? Why are we allowing it? If you killed a Jew, if you killed someone, you have one punishment. They're going to kill you. Maybe you will think twice. And why is it brought up now? Clear. Because right now, after the last deal, there are no terrorists in jail. They literally got the ticket out after doing the most devastating terror attacks that we ever heard of. Thank you very much for your service. Take your card. You can go back home. That's crazy. And this this right-wing member of the government say this is not justice. They killed not one person, they killed dozens of people, and there's no responsibility, and they just get to go out to their homes eventually and live life well. Now, let's not go into what we think about it. I think it's a valid point, or at least there's a valid point to consider. But that's the idea. What they did with those pins took a very interesting idea, a noble idea, you might even say, and brought it down to the most childish act of, hey, look at me. That's the feeling. When you saw them walking with those pins on their shirt, the feeling was, if you are serious about this act, the ways to do it is to pass it in the government, in the parliament, not going and bragging with those pins. For one reason, while we are trying to explain to the world what we are all about, while we are focusing in bringing light, which was the theme of today's meeting, looking at that, the next day, you tell me, every newspaper, every person in the world look at these photos, and what does he say? Look at those nasty members of Israeli parliament. They want to hang out people. They want to kill people. They want to murder people. That's what they did in Gaza. They're doing genocide. You can continue the conversation by yourself. You understand. Come on. Guys, do you understand what we're dealing with? Do you understand with the amount of pressure around the world? Do you understand how people are being blocked from entering Australia? Do you understand what we're talking about? This was a childish act. And more than that, it was a stupid act. And I told it to Pam immediately. Even when you have a good idea behind it, and I think it's a legit idea to consider. And here I was able to communicate with you the notion of what went through their head, but going with the spin on their jackets was plain stupidity. Nothing good came out of it. And more than that, if you ask me, Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister, the adult in charge, call them and say, take this out of you. It's stupid. It doesn't give us anything. It doesn't give us any value. Just a shame. Just a shame. And with that, I want to apologize again to what happened today. I want to finish up with a nice song. And you can, I'm going to send you the title. You can listen to that after. I think it's one of the best ones. There are many versions. It's a completely different kind of a music, but I think it's amazing. And we will finish with that. Before we finish, as usual, if we have a couple of minutes for questions, not going to leave you like that. Please.
Does anybody have a question?
Yes, Anne.
Yes, Anne.
Hanukkah. I'd like you say, Shmuel, on a happy note, because it is, the world is so unjust, it's so cruel to Israel. It's just horrible. Thank you for explaining that. And on a happy note, Hanukkah. So it starts, when does your Hanukkah start?
Sunday, first candle.
Okay, right. And it runs for 8 days then, is it?
Right.
Lovely. And all the families come together and everything, and yep.
It's a very busy time. You go to your friends, you go to family, you go to public events. Every night is out and about.
Lovely.
Andy,
Lovely.
can I ask you a question, Anne? Do you live in Brisbane?
Yes.
There's a Hanukkah lighting on Sunday night at Queen's Park in the city. It's
Yes,
a
Pam's
giant.
invited me. Oh, Pam's already gone on here. Pam's very quick off the mark there. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
And of course, all those big menorah lightning everywhere are all made by
Chabad.
Wow.
the one we started the conversation with, the one that we are celebrating the day of is redemption. Yat Kislev, 19th of Kislev. It's all connected. More?
Yes, I have a question. Shmuel.
Yeah.
Where is the location of Beth Hor Beth
Bet
Horon?
Horon. Bet Horon.
Beth Horon. Where is that?
So that's one of the places of the war with the Maccabees, right? That's what you're referring to.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so, you see Jerusalem, right? You see Jerusalem, and you see going north of Jerusalem, you go into the mountains of Samaria and Benjamin, right? Bethel, Ophrah. But if you take a bit to the east, you know the big city where the Maccabees are from? Modi'in. In between Jerusalem and Modi'in, Beth Horon.
Okay.
And there's another community next to that, named because of this story, Hashmonaim, the Hasmoneans. And there's another community because of that called Lapid, which is a torch. It's all in that area. Biblical area, all in.
And if I'm allowed to say, I just would like to say to the Christians who are listening that that very location is when the two were walking on the road to Emmaus. It's exactly the same location. And so in 1 Maccabees 3:17, they're just about to have a massive fight with the Syrian commander, and they were coming into Beth Horon, and Judas went out with a small little group to meet against the massive Syrian army. And all Judas's little group started to be a bit panicky, and Judas said, "It is easy for many to be hemmed in by few, for in the sight of heaven there is no difference between saving by many or by few. It is not on the size of the army that victory in the battle depends, but strength comes from heaven. And they came against us in great insolence and lawlessness to destroy us and our wives and our children. But we fight for our lives and our laws, and God himself will crush them before us. So as for you, do not be afraid of them." So that very powerful scripture in Maccabees says that they stood there and said, doesn't matter how many people are fighting the war, Hashem is with us and we will win. So powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Someone else? Okay, so with that, I want to finish with this last song. Wish all of you happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, New Year, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, and put your eyes on February where I'm going to come. It's in a month and a half, and I'm going to see all of you. I'm very happy to be there again. And what can we say? Wishing all of Am Israel only good news. And right now, I feel that also we need to add all the Jewish people all over the world that are in a serious situation right now, right? It's things are happening, things are boiling, and maybe the lights of Hanukkah are going to open the wisdom of the people to open their eyes with a bit of light to see what's happening around them. And with that, I will finish with Light One Candle by Peter, Paul, and Marie. I put it with the lyrics so you can see exactly the lyric. It's a very nice one. Please.
Take care, Shmuel.
Thank you.
Thought Peter, Paul, and Mary were Australian.
Can you see? Can you hear as well?
No, I can see it though.
You cannot hear? Oh, well, wait. 2 seconds. Here, share channel. Done. Now.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. And light one candle for the pain they endured, when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. And light one candle for those who are suffering pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bind us together. With peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears.
What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it light in that flame?
Okay, that was mainly it. I'm going to send you the link. I really like the song, and I think it connects to what we spoke about. Keep the light on. That's a very important part of the tradition in those days. And, you know, these people who wrote the song were the farthest Jewish people you can imagine. They had no connection to Jew. First of all, only one of them was a Jew. But they're like, he wasn't connected. But there's something in this light that represents there is something. Something. And this something is what keeps this light goes on. That's it. Send you the link. Let me know what you think.
Hey, Happy.
Thank you again.
Thank
Happy
you,
Hanukkah.
everyone.